ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितेन येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवंश्च। श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगना रघुनाथं वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पदं सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखावितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So all of you are welcome for this Sunday feast program at Shri Radha Gopinath Mandir. In the beginning, I would like to take the blessings of Shri Radha Gopinath Ji, Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and all the devotees present to empower me to speak. So today's subject I have selected as protection by the Lord, because this is a subject which interests everybody. Actually, everybody is looking for protection of the Lord, always praying to Him for His protection. But we have to understand on the basis of the Shastra Chakshu, actually what is protection by the Lord. Because we may have so many misconceptions about the protection. So, I will start from a narration from Srimad Bhagavatam, where after the Lord in the incarnation of Varadev killed Hiranyaksh, and Hiranyakashipu is trying to console his wife and other relatives. And there he is telling them a story of King Suyag. Is King Suyag, who has several wives. He was actually once went to a battle, and there he was killed by the enemies. So when his several wives heard about that, they went to the battlefield, and they were lamenting, they were crying, and were inconsolable. So seeing this pitiable condition of these ladies, Yamraj himself, in the guise of a boy, came to console them. And these queens asked Yamraj, they argued with Yamraj that when the Lord could protect her husband in the womb of his mother, why the Lord has not provided protection now? Why he has been killed? And Yamraj started telling that the Supreme Person who creates by his will maintains and destroys everything. He is Swarat. He is fully independent to anything. If he wants to protect anybody, he will protect. If he wants to destroy anybody, he will destroy. Nobody can argue about the activities of the Supreme Personality of God. He is free to do anything, whatever he wants to do. So, we have to understand that Krishna is the ultimate protector, and is the only protector. If he wants to protect a person, he will protect. He wants to kill a person, nobody can actually save him. As it is said, Krishna rakhe mare khe, Krishna mare rakhe khe. If Krishna wants to protect, nobody can kill him. But if Krishna wants to kill, nobody can protect him. In the life of Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu we have seen. So, when we talk of protection, generally we think that we ourselves are quite powerful to protect ourselves or protect others, or our money, wealth, perhaps our family members, friends, contacts, our prestige, and this technology which has been developed, so advanced technology can protect us. But we find that at the crucial moment, all these supports actually vanishes. None of these things can protect us. So if Krishna wants to give protection, then we can be protected by the supports. If Krishna withdraws his protection, then all these these supports, however powerful they may be, they cannot actually protect us. So, therefore it is said that in this material world, protection is an imaginary thought. We are thinking that we are protected, but it is an imaginary thought. Because this is the nature of the spiritual world, that everything is changing every moment. And then there is nothing permanent in this world. So, before proceeding on the subject, I want to narrate my own personal experience in this regard. It happened on 25th July 2005. Everybody may be remembering that day when Mumbai was flooded with rainwater. Actually, it was a cloud burst, and we could see in many parts of Bombay it was like a partial devastation. जैसे प्रलय आ गई हो. My grandchildren who were studying in Jamnabai in Juhu, my grandson was about 11 years old and my granddaughter was about 5-6 years old. And the driver had gone to pick them up from the school. It was around 3:30 their school used to actually end. So by that time the rain has started heavily and he actually took them, he brought them, and in the way there was such a cloud burst that the car near Juhu Circle, it stopped. Actually, it was like a graveyard of vehicles at that time. So he thought that what I should do. So the driver opened the door and he brought them to nearby place. Karachi society is there nearby. And from there, my grandson requested some lady to give that mobile to him, and he phoned that we are at Karachi society, please come and take us, because the car has failed. It has actually gone off order. But in the meantime, at that time the mobile phone got switched off because the battery was low. We got only this message. What our driver did, whether foolishly, that some bus was going there, from some school bus, from some other school, and they told them that it is going to Lokhandwala complex. So he made them sit in that bus, both the children. We did not know what happened. And he tried to put the vehicle on the side. He did not go with them. That was his foolishness. So when my daughter-in-law heard about it, so she started, I'm going there. I told that I will accompany you. No, there is no need, because we are not knowing what is the position outside. Before our society, there was not much water. So she went with some washmen, but hardly she had gone 2 furlongs, and the water was coming to her neck. She was not very tall. She was about 5 feet. And people told her that you will be drowned if you go further, because water is quite high there. So she was coming back. And in the meantime, I thought that I should accompany her. So I followed and was searching for her. But since it was getting darker, electricity has failed, everything has failed practically. My son, who was in Malad, was holed up there because it was all surrounded by water. So I went. In the meantime, my daughter-in-law came, but I could not see her. So she came back. Now, it is time for my wife and daughter-in-law to worry for me where I have gone. So I started, and I passed about half a kilometer, and then there was an open nala, and the water was gushing towards that. And I took help of 2-3 persons to cross that particular place. And the society, Karachi society, was about 3 kilometers from there. So I passed through water, quite deep water up to the chest. And it took me about 1.5 hours to reach there. By the time it was pitch dark. Actually, in the meantime, we phoned one of our relatives which were nearby, and they were told that our house is fully surrounded by lot of water, about 3-4 feet up, we cannot get out of the water. Then we had some devotee, our devotee in Karachi society, we asked him to go and find out. He went there and he came that I cannot find the car because 3-4 feet water is there. I cannot see the number also, which car is yours. So nobody was, actually everybody was helpless. So when I reached there, after much trouble, I actually fell 2 times also in between. I reached society, it was pitch dark and nobody was there. So there was no point in coming back home because it would have taken another 2 hours to come back. So I decided to go to my friend, devotee, who was in Karachi society. Actually, the Karachi society itself was dug up because some repairs were going on. And if I had gone there on my own, perhaps I would have fallen into a ditch. But some society member was there. He told me that I will take you through a safer route to the place. He was staying on 7th floor. So in that pitch dark, I counted the floors and then knocked at his door, and they opened the door and were surprised. And I told them that whether your phone is working, because most of the phones were dead by that time. So asked him to phone, and luckily he told that my phone is actually hi-fi phone and it is on battery, and I hope it is still running because nobody can charge because the light were off. Complete thing was there. Blackout was there. So luckily we could go through, and we were told that they have reached home because some girl from nearby society accompanied them to her society, and from there they came back. So, what I want to tell, that nothing could help at that time. Your money, your technology, your contacts, their own father was holed up in Malad in the office. Mother has gone, she came back. So it is only the Lord who can protect. Nobody can protect. So all these things on which we depend, ultimately at the crucial moment they can't help us. Therefore, our one very great Vaishnava poet says, ये धन यौवन पुत्र परिजन इते की आचे प्रतीति रे कमल दलदल जीवन टलमल. He says that our life is like a drop of water tottering on the leaf of a lotus flower. A drop on the leaf of a lotus flower can fall any time. And what assurance is there in our youth, in our money, in our contacts, in our family members? There is no assurance. Therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that all these supports are fallible soldiers. At the crucial time, nobody can help us, unless Krishna help us. So however strong support we may have, nobody can help us at the crucial moment. So, therefore we can conclude that without protection of the Lord, one cannot live with or without the support. Unless protection is there, if there is no support, still we can live. If there is no protection, whatever support we may have, perhaps we may not live. And therefore the ultimate shelter is Krishna, and who takes shelter of Krishna is protected. So when we talk of protection, actually, we immediately think of protection of the body. Since we are on the bodily platform, we think of the protection of the body. Protection of the body from miseries, protection of the body from death. We immediately think of that. We don't think of any other thing. So, because in this material world, suffering and death is inevitable. Because this is the nature of the material world. Everything is changing. Time is destroying everything. So, suffering and death is inevitable in this material world. So but sometimes we see that Krishna's plan or Krishna's wish is supreme. If he chooses to protect a devotee or a person from suffering or from death, he may do so. If he doesn't, everything will be at Krishna's will. So, we may find many examples of this, that where some demons and non-devotees wanted to kill the devotees, and Krishna protected them. So Prabhupada writes in one of the purports that there have been instances where demons or non-devotees have attempted to kill a devotee, but they have never been able to destroy great devotee. Here the word is used, great devotee. Please understand that who have reached the perfection, great devotees, he protects also who are neophyte stage, because Krishna's protection starts from the day when a person starts devotional service. But that protection may be in some other way. A great devotee of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotee never claims to be powerful himself. Instead, he fully surrenders to the Lord's lotus feet, because this is the criteria. That he surrenders to the Lord's lotus feet, therefore he is protected. Till the time he tries to protect himself, Krishna may choose not to protect him. Like Draupadi, she wanted to protect herself by her own strength. Krishna did not come. But when she felt completely helpless and raised hands and called Krishna, "Hey Krishna, Govinda, protect me," Krishna immediately came and protected. So this is the criteria, that we have to fully surrender to the Lord, and then Krishna protects us. And the devotee should be confident that in all dangerous conditions, Krishna will protect them. So there are many examples you must have heard. Examples of Amrish Maharaj, when Durvasa Muni, for no fault of his, tried to kill him by his mystic power, made a fiery demon to kill Amrish Maharaj. He simply, with folded hands, prayed to Krishna, if you like to kill me or you like to save me, it is your choice. And Krishna Sudarshan Chakra immediately came, killed that demon, and actually went after Durvasa Muni, and for 1 year he was running from being saved from the heat of that. Ultimately, he has to fall at the lotus feet of Amrish Maharaj and beg for pardon from him. There are other cases like Haridas Thakur. Many of you must have heard that he was given a death sentence by the Qazi, by the Nawab, on the instance of Qazi, and he was to be beaten in 22 marketplaces by the executionist. And it is said that nobody could survive 3 or 4 marketplaces. And seeing this, Krishna actually sent his Sudarshan Chakra to kill these executionists. But Haridas Thakur was such a gentleman, such a devotee of the Lord, such a humble person, that he prayed to the Lord, please excuse these executionists because they are not doing of their own accord. They are doing according to the order of the Nawab. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Mahaprakash Lila says that my Sudarshan Chakra was actually helpless. It came back. It could not do anything because of your prayers. And therefore I had no recourse except to cover your body with my body. And therefore I protected you. And he showed in Mahaprakash Lila the marks of the whips on his back, that I have taken those whips which were actually meant for you. So this is how Krishna protects also his devotees. In the case of Prahlad Maharaj, you also know that Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill him in so many ways, but Krishna every time protected him from all these miserable conditions. He was thrown from the cliff, he was given poison, he was to be crushed under the leg of the elephant, he was thrown into the snake pit, poisonous snake pit, he was given actually poison to. So many things have been done, but Krishna always protected him. And we see the case of Pandavas, how Krishna protected from them, although they have suffered so much, but Krishna ultimately protected them. And Parikshit Maharaj, who was protected in the womb of his mother, Uttara, because she prayed to Krishna, please save my child in my womb. And Krishna saved Parikshit Maharaj at that time because Pandavas, this was the only child who could have ruled after Pandavas. So Krishna saved Parikshit Maharaj in the womb of Uttara because at that time it was the necessity. But we come when we come discuss how Parikshit Maharaj was not saved when he was given curse to die in 7 days. Krishna did not come at that time. So Krishna protects a person according to his own desire, what is necessary, what is beneficial to the devotee, what is beneficial to the world. It is not whimsical. So, therefore we can see that it is not always the case that Krishna protects a devotee from death or suffering. Because when Parikshit Maharaj was protected in the womb, he was not protected when he was cursed to die in 7 days. At that time, Krishna has some higher protection for him. Because in any case, this body has to die. So how much Krishna cannot give, cannot actually interfere with the laws of nature. Because according to the laws of nature, this body, according to the destructive nature of the time, has to get old, has to get disease, has to die. The higher protection what Krishna has given, actually this is the subject of our discussion today. What is the higher protection Krishna gives to the devotees? It is not necessary always that he protects our body, but which is the higher protection Krishna gives to us? So, in this, there may be many levels of protection, because it is the protection of the devotional service of the devotee which Krishna protects. That is the ultimate protection Krishna gives. And therefore, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, in 2nd chapter, 40th verse, Krishna says, Nehabikram nashvasti prittavayo ne vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayato mehato behat. When a person is endeavoring to perform devotional service, in this endeavor there is no loss or diminution. And the person is protected from the greatest fear, most dangerous type of fear. This is Krishna's promise here. So what it means, that a person who is doing devotional service, that devotional service, whatever progress he has made in the devotional service, that is not lost or diminished. Although we may die, whatever happens to our body, but Krishna keeps that devotional service intact. It doesn't matter, our body dies and our progress in devotional service also is lost. It is not that thing. Because whatever we acquire in this material world, all material things actually end with our death. We cannot carry anything with us. But we always carry our devotional service with us to the next birth. This is Krishna's promise. And what is the greatest fear? The greatest fear is not that we will suffer, we will die, because that is inevitable, that is going to come. But the greatest fear is to forget Krishna. Our Guru Maharaj says, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, that a moment's forgetfulness of Krishna is the greatest calamity. And a moment's remembrance of Krishna is the greatest wealth. So forgetfulness of Krishna, when we will forget Krishna? If we are given lower species of life, birth in lower species of life. In lower species of life, we cannot know about devotional service, we cannot think of Krishna, we cannot do anything. So, by promising here that you will be free from the most dangerous type of fear, means that Krishna will give us opportunity where we can remember Krishna in our next life. It means that human life is guaranteed. A person who is performing devotional service means that human life is guaranteed, because Krishna will give him opportunities again and again to complete his devotional service. Therefore, Prabhupada writes in the purport that when a person proceeds on the path of devotional service, the ultimate success is guaranteed, the perfection is guaranteed, because Krishna will give opportunities again and again to perfect the life. Whether it will be in this life, it may take 10 lives, it may take 100 lives, it may take 1,000 lives. But ultimately, perfection will be achieved, because who has proceeded on the path of bhakti, because that devotional service is never lost or diminished. So this is the greatest protection Krishna assures in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. So, but in some exceptional cases, because we cannot limit Krishna's mercy. If he has said this thing, so he cannot go beyond that. In exceptional cases, we see that even in lower species of life, the devotees could remember their previous birth. You have heard the case of Bharat Maharaj. Actually, he has relinquished his kingdom and he came to the forest to worship, to fully absorb in Krishna consciousness. But by some accident, he had to take care of a deer. And he got so much attached to the deer that he deviated from his austerities and the devotional service. And one day, that deer was lost, and searching for that deer, he fell into a ditch and died. And since he was thinking of deer at the time of death, he became deer in the next life. But he could remember his mistake, attachment to the deer. And therefore, he was in the devotional mood. He was actually around the saintly people's ashrams, wanted to hear what they are saying. And in the next life as Jal Bharat, he could remember everything, and therefore he completely renounced his attachment to this world and attained perfection. So in the lower species of life, by Krishna mercy, one can remember. And in the case of Gajendra also, we know that he was a king Indrudaman in his previous life. He was performing devotional service very nicely. But by some accidental thing, Agast Muni cursed him because he was in his samadhi. He came and he thought that he is actually avoiding me. He is not fully giving me respect, disrespecting me, gave him that since you are acting like this, you become an elephant. And he became an elephant. And as you know that when he was once bathing in the lake, a crocodile actually caught his leg. He fought for all his family members and friends. Everybody was there. Nobody could help him at that crucial moment. He fought for many, many years. Ultimately, since he was in unnatural condition, he was a creature of the earth, and crocodile was a creature of the water. So he was in a better situation. So ultimately, when he felt that he cannot do anything, he was in a hopeless condition. I cannot save myself. It is time now for me to die. He could remember his previous birth. He could fix his mind. He could chant those mantras which he were chanting in the previous life. And he fixed his mind on the Lord and chanted the mantras. And Lord came and saved him. So it is Krishna's mercy is unlimited. We cannot limit it. So although he has said that in lower species you cannot remember, but if Krishna wants, for the advanced devotees like those persons who could actually perfect their life, in that life only, something happened, Krishna came and gave that remembrance to them. So, this is the basis of our protection by Krishna, that he protects our Krishna consciousness. So he protects our Krishna consciousness in so many ways. He protects our Krishna consciousness, our faith in Krishna consciousness. Because faith is the most important thing. Faith is the greatest wealth in Krishna consciousness. So, there is one shlok in Bhagavad Gita Abhishek which says, Ananyas chintayanto mam yejana paripaste tesham nitya bhuktaram yog sheme vahamyam. Those who worship me with great devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. Matlab those persons who are fully absorbed in Krishna, doing devotional service in that mood of full absorption, Krishna provides them which they don't have, and what they have, he protects that thing, Krishna says. So there was one Acharya Brahman who was very poor, and he used to study the Shastra very scrutinizingly. So when he came to this shlok, so he thought that Vahamyam means, Vahamyam I. I provide those things. Krishna says that I provide those things. So he thought that how Krishna can do all these things. Actually, it is not possible Krishna to provide all his devotees like this, personally come and provide those things. So he cut that ahem in that Bhagavad Gita and write something like Karoti, that he get the work done through some agencies or some servants or this, something like that. And he went to the village to beg for alms. Madhukari karne ke liye chale gaye. But that day he could not get anything for many, many hours. In the meantime, 2 young boys came to the house of where the Brahmani was there, and told her that Brahman Devta has sent all this material for you, the provisions which are necessary to making good prasad, and make a good feast for him today. So they were very enchanting boys. One is whitish, one is bluish. And she told that I will prepare and you stay, I will feed you also. No, your husband is very cruel. See how they have beaten me. And he showed a mark of cutting on his back. Because that Brahman had cut that, his words, Krishna's words. So, no, we are going. We are afraid of your husband. So, they went. So, after some time, Brahman Devta came and told that I could not get anything today. I will be fasting today. No, you already sent two of your two boys came and they told that you have sent them. They were so beautiful boys. I wanted to feed them and I wanted that they should stay, but they told them, no, they are very fearful of you, and they went away. And he knew that they were Krishna and Balram. They came themselves to provide them the provisions. So he went there, corrected. So this is how Krishna, one who is so devoted to Krishna and has sometimes their faith is shaken, Krishna, how he makes their faith firm in them. Similarly, you find in the life of Srivas Thakur, who was a personal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had a big family, and his only purpose was to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to have whole night dance in the Srivas Angan. So he once asked Srivas Acharya, I see that you have a very big family and I do not see that you are working for anything. So how you are maintaining yourself? So he told that Lord provide everything. You have such faith? Yes, I have such faith. If I clap 3 times and I was not provided with the necessary things, I will tie a stone in my neck and drown. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was astonished to see his faith in the Lord. And he told him that even if the goddess of fortune, Lakshmani, gets bankrupt and has to beg, you will be always provided with sufficient necessities of life. So this is Krishna's faith, devotee's faith in Krishna, which Krishna maintains. And we find in the life of Prahlad Maharaj also that in any way Krishna has to come in the form of Nrsimhadev and kill Hiranyakashipu, because Krishna has promised the demigods that when Hiranyakashipu will start harassing his son, I will come and kill Hiranyakashipu. So when Hiranyakashipu asked him, from where is your strength is coming and where is your Lord? So he told them, my Lord is everywhere, because he has faith in the words of his Guru Maharaj, Narad Muni, because he has heard that Krishna is all pervading, it is everywhere. So he asked him whether he is in the pillar. He said, yes, he is in the pillar also. This was his faith. And to reciprocate with the faith of his devotee Prahlad, Krishna has to appear from the pillar. Krishna would have come anyway. Anyway he would have come and killed the demon, Hiranyakashipu. But to reciprocate with the faith of Prahlad, he actually appeared from the pillar so that his faith is intact, that Krishna is everywhere. He has come from the pillar also. So in this way we can understand that Krishna also, there are various levels of Krishna consciousness. He keeps the faith of the devotees also in him. And there is one other shlok which comes in Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, 30th verse. Api chesu duracharo bhaste mam ananya bhak sadhurev samantavya samagya vepsatyu he said. Krishna says in this verse, this is again a great protection by the Lord to the devotee. Even if a devotee commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is considered to be saintly because he is properly situated. But the person who is doing devotional service very sincerely, Krishna says that even he, by chance or by some accident or by the influence of Maya, he falls down from his position. I still consider him to be a saintly person because he is firmly situated in devotional service. That is the criteria. He is firmly situated. He is fixed in the devotional service. Because Krishna says that not only pure devotees, but those devotees who are actually sincerely following the path of devotional service, to fully surrender to me, I consider them to be pure devotees, even today they are not pure devotees, because in due course of time they will become pure devotees. So from Krishna's standard, not only a pure devotee, but who sincerely is trying to follow the path of devotional service, to surrender to Krishna, to achieve love of God, is actually considered by Krishna as a pure devotee. Therefore he says that I still considered him to be my devotee. I am not concerned whether he has fallen accidentally or not, because in due course of time, everything will be rectified. Because the devotional service is non-different from Krishna. It is so powerful that even it is actually a purification. Devotional service is a process of purification. So one is following the devotional service sincerely, all this contamination which has come will automatically go. And he will come to the platform of the pure devotional service. So Krishna says in this verse that I consider him to be a saintly person because ultimately he will come to the platform of the devotional service, pure devotional service, perfectional stage, love of God. So then the next slok says, Kaunteya prita janai nam bhaktiya pranashati. Just after this slok, in the 31st slok, Krishna says, to Arjun announced to the world boldly that my devotee will never perish. So, it may be taken into a general statement of Krishna, but when this slok is actually spoken just after the first slok, apiche suduracharo, so we have to logically understand this particular statement of Krishna. Although Krishna is Swarat, he can do anything. He can even protect the bodies, he can protect the one from suffering, he can protect everything. But here the reference is not to the body actually, according to what I understand. It is actually to the Krishna consciousness, the devotional service. Because the devotional service, because this Bhagavad Gita was spoken on the battlefield. And when we look into this statement from this background that he is telling Arjun that is declared to the world boldly that my devotee will not perish, perhaps you may think that he wants to convey to Pandavas that you are my devotees, you will never not perish. But we see that in that same battle, Bhishma Pitama was also there, who is Mahajan, who is a much greater devotee. But he was killed in that particular battle. So we cannot say that my devotee will not perish refers to the body. In a general sense, it may refer. But what it means, that it refers to the Krishna consciousness. Because what is the real identity of a person? It is the soul, not the body. In the beginning only Krishna says, you are not the body, you are the soul. And the duty of the soul is, Jive Sarup Hoye Krishna Nityadas. The spirit soul is the eternal servant of Krishna. And what is his duty? It is to perform devotional serving, loving devotional service to the Lord. So loving devotional service to the Lord is actually the dharma of the soul. And Krishna is referring to the soul. The soul will not perish in the sense that soul will be saved. His bhakti, his devotional service will be saved. He will continue to do devotional service. Krishna is telling like this. So, because we see that the gross body or the subtle body are the actually subject to the laws of the nature, they are going to suffer, they are going to die. So it cannot actually refer to that particular thing. And therefore, we should think that here Krishna is giving much higher protection. Telling Arjun to say boldly that my devotee will not perish. Because devotional service is actually done on the platform of the Atma. It is transcendental to the material world. Everything is material world, subject, connect to the body, will perish in due time. But devotional service, which is actually the duty of the soul, Krishna promises here that soul will not perish. Perish means that he will continue to do his devotional service. He will not be actually deprived of that devotional service. So we have to understand it like this. Because awakening of love of devotional service is through the devotional service is the actual purpose of the life of the living entity. So therefore, we have to understand that since our soul, as we all know, we were in the spiritual world, and in the spiritual world, we were serving Krishna, but somehow some contamination has crept in, and we went away from Krishna. We wanted to enjoy separate from Krishna, therefore we have been sent to this world. And by the grace of the devotee, Brahman Brahmite Kaun Bhagwan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. By the joint mercy of the Lord and his devotee, the living entity gets the seed of the bhakti. So, when living entity is again trying to establish relationship with Krishna through devotional service, Krishna protects that devotee from get perished into this material world again. So this is how Krishna protects. So, now we come to the point, which there is one other shlok in the Bhagavad Gita, which says, Ant kale cha mame va kalivaram, ya prati se madbhavan, yati naste atra sanshaya. Ki whenever at the time of death one quits his body, remembering me alone, he at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. So Krishna says that at the time of death, if one remembers me, he will come to me. He will attain my nature means devotional service. He becomes complete Satchidanand in his original entity, and he will come back to my original abode, Golok Vrindavan. So, this is particular shlok which generally agitate the mind of the devotees, troubling the mind of the devotees, because they always think that whether we will be able to remember Krishna at the time of death or not. We are performing devotional service, whether we will be able to do it or not. So this is actually, and many times people ask this question, if we are performing devotional service and we are not able to actually remember Krishna, why we may be put in such condition like we may be suffering from coma, or there's some accidental death, or some other reason we are not able to actually remember Krishna, what will happen to us? Whether we will go to Krishna or not. So this is the fear which is troubling the mind of the devotees, actually agitating the mind of the devotees. So here Krishna is actually telling the art of dying. How one should try to die. He should try to remember Krishna. But to perfect the art of dying, one has to perfect the art of living. It cannot be taken separately from art of living. Because to remember Krishna at the last moment, he should remember Krishna throughout his life. Therefore, he can remember Krishna at the last moment. So it is not a shortcut. Some may think that we have known this shortcut, that somehow or the other we will try to remember Krishna at the last moment. We may not perform devotional service. So we know the secret now. So it is not a shortcut which Krishna is giving here. He is actually telling the art of dying. And for perfecting that art of dying, one has to perfect the art of living. And what Krishna says in total Bhagavad Gita, remember me, serve me, perform devotional service to me, always think of me. So this is how devotional service has to perform. We have to perfect. We have to absorb Krishna 24 hours before we reach to the stage of death. Only then we can remember Krishna. So this is actually, the whole process has to be performed. The sadhana bhakti has to be sincerely performed in the sense that we can be able to always able to remember Krishna somehow or the other, so that we can remember Krishna at the time of death. So, so this question was asked to His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj when he came in the last visit, because this is the natural question which many devotees have. So they ask the same questions: what will happen if we are not able to remember the Lord at the time of death? And Guru Maharaj quoted one shlok: Man manabhav mad bhakto madhyaji nam namaskuru mame vishasi satyam te priti jane priyasi me. This shlok actually is so important that Krishna repeats this shlok twice in Bhagavad Gita. No shlok is repeated twice. In 9th chapter, 34th verse, same shlok is repeated. And where Krishna is summing up the devotional service. And the next shlok is Sarvdharman Paritajya Mamekam Sharanam Vijaya. This is the previous shlok. This is the way how we can surrender to Krishna. It says that always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, pay homage to me. This way you will come to me without fail. Whether you are remember me at the time of death or not, it is not, Krishna does not put any condition here. This is subject to this particular shlok. You have to remember. Krishna is giving us that if you are throughout your life, you are performing devotional service, always thinking of me, trying to become my devotee, by performing devotional service in Navda Bhakti, so many ways, paying homage to me, worshipping me, then you will certainly come to me. So, this is how we should live our life so that we can remember Krishna at the time of death. But even if we are not able to remember Krishna at the time of death, there is a sufficient protection given by Krishna in this verse that we will go to Him, in spite of the fact. And in this, to actually make our faith firm in this Krishna's statement, I have to narrate one incident from the life of Sripad Ramanujacharya, who is the leader of the Sri Sampradaya. You must have heard the name of Ramanujacharya. So, he was a great devotee of Krishna. Actually, his main seat is at Srirangam, where Srirang Dev, Vishnu is there. He was worshipping him. But in the initial stages, when he was studying under his guru, Yadav Prakash, actually since Yadav Prakash was a Mayavadi, and he was a pure devotee, there was some conflict, and Yadav Prakash wanted to kill him, but Krishna saved him. So he studied the Shastra on his own. Scrutinized, he studied the Shastra on his own. So there is one place, Kanchipuram in south, where there is the Krishna's deity named as Lord Varadaraj. So there was a devotee who was a Shudra actually, Kanchipurna, but he was very dear to the Lord. He used to fan the Lord, And it is said that Lord talks to him. Lord had always conversations with him. What Lord wanted to convey him, to tell to others, Lord said to him. So Ramanacharya knew this. So he said to Kanchipuram, because he respected him very much, he treated him like his guru. Although Ramanacharya was a Brahman and he was a Shudra, but he was considered to be a great Vaishnava. So he asked him that, can you ask me, for me, when I have some doubts, can you ask Varadaraj ji to clarify my doubts? I have some doubts. You ask him tonight when you go to him, and I will. So when he went to Varadaraj, Kanchipuram, so Kanchipuram did not know what doubts he had, because he did not tell. He only wanted to confirm that if Varadaraj agrees to actually reply to my doubts, I will tell you those doubts. But he did not know what those doubts were. So when he went to Varadaraj ji Bhagwan and started fanning, so Varadaraj on his own told him that go and tell Ramanacharya these six things, the doubts which he had in mind. So these are the 6 things which I am. Firstly, I am the Supreme Brahman. Varadaraj says that I am the Supreme Person, the cause of material nature from which this universe has come into being. Matlab, he is establishing his position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then he says, there is separate existence of Jiva, soul, and the Supreme Lord is an eternal truth. Because Mayavadi says that everything is one, and they want to merge in the Supreme Lord. But here, this was a doubt in the mind of Ramanacharya, whether they are separate or they are same. So he clarified this point. It is another subject, big subject. Separate existence of Jiva, soul, and Supreme Lord is eternal truth. They cannot be actually, once they have come into existence, they cannot lose their identity. They live separately. And Krishna is Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse 12, clarifies this position. Neha tvam jate nasho, ne me janadipa, ne chevna bhavishyami, sarve vayam ate param. Ki there was no time when these kings were not there and I was not there. And they will always be there. Matlab, he says that whoever comes into existence once, their existence will be there. They will not merge in some other thing. So same thing is telling that there is a separate existence of Jiva, soul, and the Supreme. And third, he says that surrender to the lotus feet of Supreme Lord is the only true path of those who desire liberation. Matlab, who wants to go to the spiritual world, who want liberation from this material world. This is the true path to surrender to the. And then comes our point, what he told, which is a very assuring. Krishna himself says, as Varadaraj, devotee will certainly be liberated even if by chance they fail to remember me at the time of death. This is Varadaraj saying to Kanchipuram to convey to Ramanacharya. That even they fail to remember me at the time of death, they will certainly be saved, liberated, because they have surrendered to me. Because in the previous, he says that who surrenders to me are going to get liberated, even if he is not. And then he says, another assuring, as soon as my devotee give up their present bodies, I bring them to my supreme abode. So Krishna personally at the time of death comes and actually holds our hand and takes us to the spiritual world. This is Krishna's promise. And therefore, since he had no guru, so he has instructed him also that you should immediately take shelter of Mahatma Mahapurna, the reserve of God quality. Matlab, everybody should have a guru. Since he did not have a guru, he instructed him to have a guru as Mahapurna. So we see that this is Krishna's promise. If we are performing devotional service seriously, sincerely, and without ulterior motive, it is Krishna's promise. Whether we can remember Krishna at the time of death or not, Krishna will definitely take care of us and take us back to Godhead. So, last year, on the 14th of May, our 8 of the very dear devotees actually lost their life in a plane crash in Nepal. And not only their family members, but the whole congregation was devastated actually. And there were so many questions which we are discussing today. What will happen to the devotees in such situations? So our Guru Maharaj specifically came for this purpose to give us vision, actually, a spiritual vision, and to properly understand how to look at such calamities in all. How to look at these calamities, how to understand the protection of Krishna in all situations. And the essence, because we see that not only these devotees, but even Prabhupada's very senior devotees who actually did exemplary service to Prabhupada in serving him and in propagating the Hare Krishna movement so that we are here because of their efforts. Many of the devotees or some of the devotees have suffered tremendously. They have also met with tragic accidents. So it is not that only these devotees have met like this. Only such exalted souls have come through these difficult situations. So how to understand these difficult situations? So I will like to, actually whatever Guru Maharaj said in those lectures, series of lectures, I am just giving a spirit of that lecture, the essence of that lecture, not his exact words, because I don't have that. I have whatever from my notes. So these are his observations. Please listen carefully. Bhagavad Gita says that there are auspicious and inauspicious ways of dying. But for a devotee, it does not matter when, how, and where it happens. Krishna is always there. So it is always auspicious. Because Krishna is there, it is always auspicious. Krishna is taking care of its soul. Krishna is taking care of the souls, the real identity of the devotee, and we should not be disturbed about the condition of the bodies, because in the accident or things, body are mutilated and all that. So he was telling that we should not be concerned, because Krishna is taking care of the soul, the real essence in one's self. Then he says, we have all independence, free will or choice. What we want to do, how to do, when to do. We have a choice. This is our choice. Krishna does not interfere in that. Krishna does not interfere in that. But he is concerned with the soul, reciprocating with our soul, caring for our soul. Whatever we do in this material world, according to our choice, and we suffer the reactions, Krishna is not concerned with that body. Krishna is concerned with our soul. He reciprocates with our soul. He reciprocates with the love of our soul. Krishna is concerned with that only. And he takes care of the soul. If one takes decisions which are risky or make earthly mistakes, they affect the earthly bodies due to reaction of the free will. But Krishna is concerned with the love of his devotees. Here he clearly says that these are earthly things, material things. And they affect the earthly bodies. They do not affect the soul. So if we are taking some risky decisions where some risk are involved to the body, or something happens to the body, that happens to the body, it does not, Krishna is not concerned with that. Because according to the law of material nature, everything happens. Krishna does not interfere with that. Due to reaction of the free. But Krishna is concerned with our love, with the love of his devotees. Accept it and allow them to continue their service to him. Matlab, whatever happened, for those devotees, Krishna accepts their love and allow them to continue the service. This is the protection of Krishna. That he allows them to continue the service in devotional. That is the protection ultimately, that the person who is in the devotional path, he only prays whether I am in this material world, I am in the hell, I am in the heaven, or in the spiritual world. I should continue with our devotional service. This is the only aspiration of a devotee. So Krishna says that whatever may be the condition, I will allow them to continue with my devotional service. That is Krishna's promise. So, what Maharaj wanted us to understand, that whatever happened to them, because they were sincere devotees, very sincerely trying to serve Guru Maharaj and Krishna has taken care and engaged them in his devotional service. We should not worry about that, because Krishna is always there for him. When a devotee surrenders to Krishna, Krishna takes charge of his spiritual soul, which is Satchidanand actually, which is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. And material body is only meant as a vehicle for performing devotional service, but is subject to the law of nature. Again, it is the same. Only through the body we are performing, it is a vehicle to perform devotional service. But the devotional service is actually at the platform of, on the transcendental platform. It is on the platform of soul. So, Krishna takes care of that devotional service, and because the body is ultimately subject to the material nature. And Krishna is the reservoir of love. He loves his devotees. He is always there to protect their Krishna consciousness. So Krishna does whatever is best for the devotees in continuing their loving devotional service to him. Therefore, the highest perfection given by Krishna is the perfection of the Krishna consciousness of the devotee. So ultimately, we have to understand that sometimes Krishna may mitigate our sufferings, may protect our body, but the highest protection on the spiritual platform Krishna gives is the protection of a Krishna consciousness. So that whether in this life or in future lives, we can continue with our devotional service. So we have to understand that this is the highest protection Krishna is giving us. That he protects our Krishna consciousness in all circumstances, so that we can continue with our devotional service. So, therefore, the whole process of Krishna consciousness is to strengthen our faith in Krishna. Unless we have faith in Krishna that he will protect us in all circumstances, how we can sincerely pursue the devotional service? Therefore, it is said that the whole process of Krishna consciousness is to ultimately strengthen our faith in Krishna. From Shraddha, we start from a little faith initially when we become a devotee, to Nishtha, unflinching faith in Krishna, full faith in Krishna. The stage where we completely depend on Krishna and consider Krishna as the only center. We are not concerned that I have my own personal strength, I have friends, I have money, I have certain contacts, I have technology to support me. They don't depend on all these things. They solely depend on Krishna, ultimately. And they consider Krishna as the only center, and only shelter. We should be convinced that Krishna will give us all protection, because Lord protects his devotee is a fact, actually. It is not something. Because we see in the life of Brijbasis, they have faith that Krishna will protect. So here it is said that we have to learn from Brijbasis that how they had faith in Krishna that he will always protect him. So we should also, following the footsteps of Brijbasi, should have faith that Krishna in all circumstances will protect us, physically and ultimately in our spiritual advancement. So, we can actually surrender to Krishna in this particular, because of Prabhupada's mercy. We are sitting here, we are taking shelter of the holy name, so we can actually surrender to Krishna by actually taking the shelter of his holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And if we take shelter of Krishna, holy name, which is non-different from Krishna, Krishna will definitely protect us. We should have that faith. So, I end my main lecture here, but today is also the two important Vaishnavs' appearance day, disappearance day. So I have been asked to speak about them also a little bit. So today is the Abirbhav Divas, or the appearance day of Janva Devi, Janva Ma. So once in Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Nityanand Prabhu that, as we know, that Nityanand Prabhu is one of the Panch Tattvas and is the elder brother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he told him that go to Bengal, so many people are suffering, give them Krishna Bhakti. Because he wanted that, since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had come from Bengal to Odisha in Jagannath Puri, so there was nobody whom he wanted actually giving his action that now you go there and preach Krishna consciousness there, because so many people are suffering. And you also get married. You also marry, because he was not married. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually was in Grihast, and he took sannyas, and he left his mother, caring mother, he left his wife, and he is now advising Nityanand Prabhu that you get married and you enter into the Grihast ashram, because that was a necessity to preach to the people. So Nityanand Prabhu responded that, yes, you are the puppeteer, aap to nachane wale ho, and we are just puppet in your hands. I will do whatever you say. And therefore, he came to Bengal, and he married Janva Devi, who was daughter of Suryadas Sarkhel. And he also later married her younger sister Vasudha. So Nityanand Prabhu has two wives, Janva Devi and her sister Vasudha, who were the daughter of Suryadas Sarkhel. This Nityanand Prabhu, as we all know, is Balram in Krishna Leela. Nityanand Prabhu is Balram in Krishna Leela. And Janva Devi, is also known as Shri Ishwari, was Revati in Krishna Leela, Balram's wife in Krishna Leela. And Suryadas Sarkhel, who is father of Janva Devi in this Chaitanya Leela, was the father of Revati, king named Kukutman in Krishna Leela. The same pattern is coming here. So it has been described that Janva Devi is Nityanand Shakti, actually. She is the Shakti of Nityanand. So some Acharya also say that Janva Devi is also Anang Manjari, who is the sister of Radharani. Some also say like this. So after the disappearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his Leela in this material world, and also Nityanand Prabhu's Leela in this material world, Janva Devi became the most respected Vaishnav, or Vaishnavi, leader of the Vaishnav community in Bengal and Odisha both. She was considered as a leader of the Vaishnav community after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu. So once Janva Devi visited Vrindavan, and she met the Goswamis there, the devotees of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there, and there is a very detailed discussion how they worshipped Janva Devi and actually respected them, and everything is written there in the Bhakti Ratnakar and Narottam Vilas. These books, it is very detailed discussion how she was actually welcomed and worshipped and treated there. So when she was there, she told Jiva Goswami, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has actually asked the Goswamis to scrutinizingly study the literatures, Vaishnava literatures, scriptures, and to extract the pure bhakti from them, and to write books on that. Actually, so this Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and many other Goswamis have written books on pure devotional service. So when she went there, she told Jiva Goswami that you have so much literature about the pure devotional service, which you have written. So I want that this literature should be sent to Bengal and be distributed there. She wanted that this literature, which you have so scrutinizingly, with such labor, hard labor you have compiled, should be available to all for performing devotional service. She wanted that. So Jiva Goswami naturally followed her instructions, and he had three very good students named Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, and Shyamanand. And he asked them to take cartload of the scriptures to Bengal to distribute. So in one sense, it can be said that this was the Sankirtan movement or the book distribution movement started from this particular incident, where according to the instruction of Janva Devi, these books were taken and distributed to the people. So once, as I said, that Janva Mataji was the most respected Vaishnava in the Vaishnava community at that time. And Narottam Das Thakur, who was also a very great Acharya in our Sampradaya, he was once inspired by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to have a Gaur Purna festival. So Nityanand Prabhu arranged for that festival. It was actually performed for 3 days. And there were kirtans, sweet kirtans, and prasadam for all the devotees. And during that particular festival, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although they have wounded up their leela in this material world, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, along with their associates, Advaita Acharya and many other associates, they actually personally came in that particular, and they danced to the sweet kirtan of the performed there in ecstasy. So this was the power of Narottam Das Thakur, who was inspired to perform. Janva Devi also was worshipped by Narottam Das Thakur with flowers and chandan and all these things. She was worshipped like a deity because she was the Vaishnava, great Vaishnava, and other devotees also worshipped there. So with the passing of the time, we see that the philosophy get diluted. Everybody tries to interpret the philosophy according to their own mental things. So during the lifetime of Janva Mataji, certain things happened. That in Vaishnava Gaudiya Sampradaya, there some diverse philosophical conceptions were coming. Like Gaur Nagri Bhav, Rasraj Bhav, Gaur Paramya Vyad Bhav, Nityanand Paramya Bhav, Advaita Paramya Bhav. So many new philosophies were coming based on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy, but in a different way. So actually the philosophy were getting diluted, and there were conflicts in the philosophies also. So Janva Devi, Janva Ma, as the leading Vaishnava, meditated on behalf of all the camps. She called all the different sects, camps, and she mediated on behalf of them and resolved the differences. She said what is the actual correct path of the devotional service. So because everybody is going astray in their own way, so she meditated. This was a great service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by establishing the correct principles of Vaishnava philosophy. So therefore she is also known as a Acharya, or as in the morning Srinaji Prabhu was telling, Acharni. In Karturi, she also, Karturi Gram, where Narottam Das Thakur was living, where this Gaur Purnima festival performed. She also initiated the Holy Festival. And she personally cooked enormous feast for hundreds and thousands of devotees. She was so inspired to serve the devotees. Actually, the Acharya set the example for the other devotees to follow. So she personally cooked from her own hands to serve the devotees. Enormous feat for the devotees. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, to get the mercy of Nityanand Prabhu's mercy, we should beg for the mercy of Janva Ma. And Lord Nityananda's mercy leads to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. So to get Lord Nityananda's mercy, we should get mercy from Janva Ma. And when we get mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, we also get mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it is said we get mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we get mercy of Radharani, and we get mercy of Radharani, we ultimately get mercy of Krishna. So this is the glories of Janvama, and there is disappearance day of Madhu Pandit, who was also a close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, there is not much, actually there is nothing in Chaitanya Charitamrita written about Madhu Pandit, but in Bhakti Ratnakar, there is a description where Madhu Pandit has been glorified. It says, O Srinivas, as I mentioned, three persons there. Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, and Shyamanand Prabhu. So here he is addressing to Srinivas. O Srinivas, what more can I say? The Lord reveals himself to his pure devotees, who then preach the glories to the world. Who can describe their incomprehensible activities by which the Lord becomes subservient to them, to their love? Matlab here is telling that Madhu Pandit had so much love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna that Krishna became subservient to his love. What he wanted, Krishna wanted to give him. And therefore, Sri Gopinath Ji actually manifested to Madhu Pandit. The deity of Gopinath manifested to Madhu Pandit. And how it manifested to Madhu Pandit? It is actually given in Bhakti Mal book. Sri Madhu Pandit, completely attached to Krishna in devotion, wandered throughout the forest of Vrindavan, searching in every direction the Lord of his heart, Krishna. He is searching for the Lord, wandering everywhere because of his love for Krishna. One day, on the bank of Yamuna, under the tree of Vansivat, where Krishna used to play his flute and call the gopis, that is a spot, Vansivat. So one day on the bank of Yamuna, under the tree of Vansivat, he saw the Lord, he saw Krishna, radiant with soft hue of monsoon cloud. Just like Krishna, we say that he has the color of a fresh monsoon cloud. Radiant with the soft hue of monsoon cloud, standing in threefold bending form. Just like Gopinath is standing here. Thus, Gopinath Ji appeared of his own accord out of affection for his dearmost devotee, Madhu Pandit. He manifested himself to Madhu Pandit. This is how Gopinath Ji has come, deity has come. Not this deity, but real, original deity. Original deity has manifested himself because of his love of Madhu Pandit for him. This was around 500 years ago. Then it is written that Sri Gopinath Ji, the qualities of Gopinath Ji, who is an ocean of mercy and who sports on the enchanting beautiful banks of Vansivat. As I told you that he is performing his Leela with gopis at Vansivat, flowing his flute, manifested to Madhu Pandit. And therefore he erected a nice temple for Gopinath Ji, and he set up a very elaborate system of worship for Gopinath Ji. So we sing in one song, Madhu Pandit Pran He, Radha Gopinath Radhe. Madhu Pandit Pran He. So this is Madhu Pandit, this is the life and soul. Gopinath ji is the life and soul of Madhu Pandit, and he specifically manifested out of love for Madhu Pandit. So, Madhu Pandit was the disciple of Gadadhar Pandit, who is one of the Panch Tattvas, and his god brother was Paramanand Bhattacharya. So, we see there are three prominent deities in Vrindavan: Radha Madan Mohan ji, Radha Govind ji, and Radha Gopinath ji. So, Radha Madan Mohan ji represent Sambandh deity, that the spirit soul are the eternal servant of Krishna, Sambandh deity, Sambandh Gyan. And features of Radha Madan Mohan deity is that his features is similar to Krishna from navel to lotus feet. जो कृष्ण भगवान के एक्चुअल फीचर्स हैं, तो राधा मदन मोहन जी की जो विग्रह है, उसके फीचर्स जो हैं, इट इज लाइक कृष्णा's feature from navel to lotus feet. And what is, by serving Madan Mohan ji, what have we get? We conquers material desire. By serving Madan Mohan ji, we conquers material desire. Then there is a deity of Radha Gopinath ji, Govind ji, which is Abhiday deity. Which is Abhiday means how to practice devotional service so that we can re-establish our relationship with Krishna and develop Krishna prem. So this is Abhiday deity. And the similarity between this deity and Krishna is that Krishna's Mukharvind is actually just like this deity. His face is just like this deity. And by serving this deity, what we get? It purifies our senses. First deity conquers our material desire, this purifies our senses. And the third deity of Radha Gopinath ji, Gopinath means master of gopis, is Prayojan deity, which is actually what we want to achieve by performing devotional service. And what is the features, Krishna's feature? From shoulder to navel, from here to here, the features of Krishna is there, manifested there. And what is we get achieved by serving this deity? Achieve pure love of God, the perfection of life. This is the Prayojan, to achieve pure love of God. So this is the deity, highest deity, which gives pure love of God, Gopinathji deity, which have been manifested to Madhu Pandit. It is said that the deity of Nand Dulal, which was fashioned from the same Shila as Sri Shyam Sundarji in Kardaha, where Janva, Nityanand Prabhu and Janva Mataji were living, and Sri Vallabhji at Vallabhpur, and which were brought from Nawab's palace, is also considered by some to have been worshipped by Madhu Pandit. He has also worshipped some other deities. So, as we have said that when on the instructions of Janva Mataji, when Jeev Goswami sent these three persons to take the literature to Bengal, at that time, Srinivas Acharya, when Srinivas Acharya and his companions were preparing to depart from Vrindavan with a cartload of spiritual literature of Goswamis, Madhu Pandit presented him, Srinivas Acharya ko, he presented with flower garland of Gopinath ji as his blessings. Matlab, this is specifically written there. He presented the garland of Gopinath ji as a blessing so that they can go very safely. The deity of Gopinath ji, actually, because of the attack of the Muslims, many deities, original deities were taken to different places from Vrindavan and Mathura. So this deity was taken to Jaipur in 1793, and a temple was built for Gopinath ji, and there is a jacket displayed, full jacket made of tulsi beads, which was actually worn by Madhu Pandit. That is displayed there in a glass cage, that this particular jacket was worn by Madhu Pandit, which has been displayed there, and which has been made of only tulsi beads, full jacket. So the Vaishnavas are eternally actually grateful to Madhu Pandit, for giving us the provision deity, which actually, by worshipping it, we actually develop love for God. So, thank you very much. So, there will be some presentation for about 15 minutes about Govardhan farm. Please stay. It is a very, very important thing. You will know that how this farm is progressing. So please stay and look to the presentation. Thank you.